good morning. Welcome back to Joyful Sundays. I have a new guest, which is Bayem Footman. It's my cousin. And I'm sitting in Berlin. He is in the States in Indianapolis, in Indiana. And I'm very happy to see him. But actually, I'm also a bit sad because he cannot sit next to me. And of course, this would be my wish to see him and spend time to him and also interview him, of course, directly. But never than that, we just take what we have with technical support to have this interview today. So, Bayem, what did you do so far? How was your Sunday so far?
Well, I mean, my Sunday just started. It's about 10:30 here. But yeah, I mean, even though it's a little bit cloudy, it's finally like really warm here. So I'm just kind of hanging out, this morning, talking to you obviously right now, and then just gonna kind of see where the day goes.
Perfect. So,
Mhm.
of course, I know your background, but can you tell us a little bit more who you are and what are you doing at the moment? And yes.
Well, I'm a musician, primarily a producer and an artist, songwriter, engineer at times as well. Yeah, that's kind of outside of the job, my day job. That's what I do the majority of the time. Yeah, I've been making music since I was five, on and off, but I really started taking it seriously near the end of high school after dabbling in music in school throughout the entire time. And so since I graduated high school in 2017, that's kind of been my whole thing. Yeah.
Perfect. I know, I mean, like, I know your music, I also know your albums, and I know it's so much work to do music and then to release it. So there's a lot of working at home in the studios, behind the scenes. But how do you
Mhm.
schedule your week? For example, you say like, okay, Friday, Saturdays are my studio days, or is it just like project wise that you work on different things?
I'd say that I primarily go to the studio every day.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is always to really stay ahead of the curve. So I would say that during the week when I'm working, it's rather rigorous. It can be pretty tiring.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same sense, though, it makes me feel better about taking a day or two off from music, just because I know that me being locked in and 100% on schedule from the time I get in to the time I take a break, it makes me feel better about the fact that I got everything that I need to get done, so I can take time to think about what I need to do next.
Yeah, okay. And
Hmm. Hmm.
if you I mean, the thing is sometimes, I have the question, to be creative, you need also to have the time to get inspired, have inspiration from the outside, like going to concert, going to museums, being in the nature. So do you actually
Hmm.
take time for this, or where do you get your inspiration from?
That's actually an interesting question. I would say that I should probably take more time and like walk around. Um, Usually, I mean, when everything was open, I like to take a lot of walks, like to take a lot of drives. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's just kind of like taking, consistent breaks and doing a lot of reading and doing a lot of researching on a lot of various topics. And I don't know what it is. It's just like the inspiration comes from pretty much what's going on in politics, what's going on in science. It all just kind of meshes into the art. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Mhm.
if you because I'm a person, I'm always in the head like
Mhm.
this. And
Mhm.
I know it's super important for me to actually go out of my head and go in my body and just shut also my brain totally off, which is super hard for me. There's just two things I think which give me the sensation of a
Mhm.
shut off head, which is Bikram yoga, and the other thing is
Mhm.
probably maybe eating ice cream or eating chips. So,
I
um,
feel that. Mhm.
what is the thing? Do you do any kind of sports, or how do you once also shut off your head?
Really, yeah, I would say that when it comes to sport, I primarily run. I like playing basketball as well. It's kind of strange. I'll just put my headphones on, turn on like a podcast or like a something in terms of like just something to almost use as background noise, and just kind of take the basketball and just basically shoot, dribble, do that for like probably an hour. Because I've noticed in that 1 hour, it's almost like I'm not really worried about what the rest of the day is going to look like, what the rest of the week's going to look like. I can just pretty much let my thoughts go and do what they want to do, and that's usually when the best ideas come, is when the mind is at rest.
Yeah, yeah. I think it, especially nowadays in our time, I mean, of course, people in our generation repeats this quite often, but I do think it's our minds are almost never at rest. I think this is also the most pressure and stress we have, or which we face as this generation. But for me, it's really like if I do Bikram yoga, it's such a war with myself. It's 1.5 hours in the heat, Bikram yoga straight without a break. And that's the only thing where I can actually, in a way, I kind of like reborn myself. It's crazy. Like I come out of this thing and I'm like totally new. Like my body, my mind is just once like cleared. Like I think it's the same thing, like looking for like 3 hours on the ocean. You have the same, like, wow, everything, had some new space also, and I think we need new space to be also creative.
Yeah, because I mean, the one thing that our generation is facing that previous ones didn't is, back in the day, after you got off from work and you took a vacation, you were completely disconnected from your work life, But I mean, nowadays with the way that everything's tied into the internet and everything's tied into our phones, it's virtually impossible to really disconnect without shutting the entire world off. You know what I mean? So I think it's best for us and for our generation as a whole that we take more time to really like listen to ourselves, because when you're bombarded with information all the time, you can get burnt out really fast. And, we need to just make sure that we're staying mentally clear and mentally focused.
Okay, well, good, very good said. Do you have something to give us a little bit of a sneak peek what is going on in the next month or so? So what are you working on, for example, at the moment? Or is there something you say like, well, I want to do like a concert soon, a Instagram, IGTV live where anyone can join, or is there something specific what is coming up in the next month?
I wouldn't say anything in the next month is like coming out per se, but I've noticed that my music career up to this point has kind of followed like almost like a roller coaster pattern, not for like a better or for worse type of thing, but where there's times of work, there's times of release, and I feel like since I just released something in March, I'm back in the time of work. But I'm always very excited to be in these situations just because this is where I enjoy like putting the music together and putting all the art together in a way more than I do releasing it, just because it's like it's almost like a fun challenge of like putting everything together and putting all the pieces and figuring out how they all work. So I guess to answer your question right now, I don't really have anything on the docket to be released, but yeah, I mean, I'm just working on new ideas and trying to continue pushing forward.
So now the internet connection it's better. He was almost gone. I was like, no, don't go. don't go. Don't go. Honestly, it's also so cool because you're like my family member. I can like do this interview like for the next years like 10 times probably. So it will always get better because the more famous we become, the more technical support we get from any IT specialist we can think of probably. I always say that. No, but I can see, I mean, we do have a strong vibe and a strong connection because I think we're both big hustlers, I would say, but I can like, my stomach feeling just knows, like, with your way of working, I'm not worried about you at all, that you're going to go your way in the way you want to. So I'm just like, you're approved by your cousin.
Hey, it's good. Oh,
So just coming because yesterday I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were really in this quarantine situation. We do miss about having like more fun again, having more like laughing again, because you can talk all day about your problems, but it doesn't make it actually the situation better or solve your problems. But we said like we want to focus more on fun again, on things to make us feel better, about creating beautiful moments and stuff like that. So is there a specific song where you freak out on the dance floor, which is just like uplifts your mood immediately?
oof. I mean, that's a long list. Wow. I can't say I have one off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
It's weird. I kind of like have classifications of like old songs that make me feel that way, songs that I grew up with that make me feel that way,
Yeah.
and then songs that came out in the last 10 years or so. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say in the last 10 years or so, it's probably that song Latch by Sam Smith and Disclosure. That was a really big one.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to link this in
Yeah,
the
really.
info. Yeah.
Yeah, that song was ridiculous. But yeah, wow, that's a big list. I can't come out and say I have one right now. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, is there like what is your favorite childhood song? Is there someone um, for example, um, like a Michael Jackson tune, or like something like Never Too Much, or is there something like you know anything? What do you think is also like a mood upliftment?
Shoot. Well, from growing up, we grew up listening to a lot of disco music.
Yeah,
So I would say that probably anything Michael Jackson will just do it, like
yeah.
Off the Wall, Rock
Off
with
the
You.
Wall.
Those,
I love this
yeah.
song. Oh my god, like this is my song if I am very down off the wall, because actually he sings it in the first line. He's like, when the world is on your shoulders, na 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 na
Hmm.
na na, you boogie down. And I think this is
Oh yeah.
this is for me the most like easy way of to say, like, if you have problems, well, you kind of like you need to start working with it.
Of course. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just take the situation as is and you make the best out of it. And I like Off the Wall. Okay, I'm going to listen to it right after we're going to hang up this interview.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But so I mean, like, of course I'm going to write all the information, like where you can listen to your music, like feature you with your Instagram channel, and like write all the details as well. But when we come to the last question, which is also like really like the focus on this interview, is actually what brings you joy. And yeah, I mean, what is your goal? Where you walking to which point? What is really bringing you joy, and which is the point you are walking to?
I don't know. Really, if I had to like boil down everything I do into one unified goal, it'd have to be just becoming the best person that I can be,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm a big believer in like your situation reflects you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the better I am at what I do, the better the situation will be, no matter what it is, whether it's music or whether it's ones I do on business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So really, that's what my ultimate goal is, because at least in the last 4 or 5 years or so, I've learned that like as I've cut back a lot of like negative habits and built up positive ones, the people that I'm around change. And basically, as I've continued to grow, it's like the people around me are growth-oriented people, which is really a situation I always want to be in, because I don't think I'm not expecting to become the best version of myself at this age, because I know that it's an ever-lasting process. It's something that's going to
Yeah.
continue, and like even into my 60s, I'm still going to have to like continually improve.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just excited to get in the habit of continually doing that because I feel like you can unlock new things, new ideas, and learn new things about yourself just by continually asking, what can I do to be better? You know? So that's my goal. That's what brings me joy.
Okay. Okay, then I can hang up now because I got it all from you.
Okay. We'll
No,
see.
thank you so much for this beautiful answer. I think this is one of the best answers I received with this question, and there's so much truth in it and so much wisdom maybe already.
Oh.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Bayem. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy. I believe in you and also in the work you do. And I wish you a wonderful Sunday. And say hello to the whole family, Footman, please, from me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye-bye.